Welcome back to Tax Talk with Hey Hey, where we offer simplified tax planning and mentorship to help 6 and 7-figure CEOs ditch the daily hustle by achieving financial independence from your business by increasing your purchasing power and diversifying your source of passive income. Through financial mentorship, realistic goal setting, and simplified tax planning, without having to hustle for the rest of your life, with the guarantee of the optimal roadmap to move you towards your desired time freedom.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Tax Talk with Hey Hey. I am your host, Suhey Piedra, and today I have the pleasure of having Mr. Ricardo and his lovely wife, Shirley, here with us.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Hey. And the reason I decided to ask them to be part of this podcast today is to have a conversation about, having two strong individuals, entrepreneurs, totally different type of businesses. How do they make their household work? So I literally said, come on my podcast and I want you to give us the lowdown on what it's like to be able to come home to, to a household where now you have to be husband and wife or mom and dad, but yet you were out there hustling all day long. So welcome, you guys. But before we get started with all the nitty gritty and all the questions, I kind of want you guys to give an introduction of who you are aside from what I just said, an entrepreneur, but, mom, dad, a brother, a sister, I don't know. Just give the audience a little bit personal about you. So, Miss Shirley, you want to start first?
All right, guys. My name is Sherlie Quintero. I am a gym owner, personal trainer, located in Fontana. As well, I am a mom, and my husband's right next to me. A mother of two and juggling two kids with a business, not only one, but my husband owns his tattoo shop as well. It's not easy. It's hard.
We're going to get to all of that.
Yeah.
How about you, Ricky?
So my name is Ricardo Gonzalez on paper. Everybody calls me at the tattoo shop Ricky Tat. It's kind of my brand name. I'm also a father first, husband and entrepreneur / tattoo artist. So I'm just have a couple of titles, but the most that I'm proud is that I have the father and the husband. That's always been the challenge, and entrepreneur is like a passion of mine, but it allows me to be the first two.
Awesome. So, Ricky, just to kind of give us a little bit of background here, Ricky and I grew up together ages ago. He's like a cousin that I would see at, birthdays, kind of get-togethers every now and then and stuff. And it's like crazy to see, us at this point of our lives and have these successful businesses and being like, hey, I don't remember when we were little talking about one day I'm going to own my business, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that we look at each other now and be like, dude, I remember us being kids and look at us now, like something to be really proud of, right? And especially with our backgrounds, right? We have very humble upbringings, and you have your brother who has his own business as well. And I don't know about, you have, I believe, a sister?
My sister, yeah.
And so it's like we have this family that, we know each other because of our family, but yet now we are clients to each other. Mm-hmm. And, you inspire me when I watch your podcast and when I watch what you're doing. And it's like, man, the hustle is real, right?
Yeah.
And so I love that because I feel like we all have family that we kind of grew up with, and then you're watching them, but we never really talked about what those dreams were, what those goals are. And then you pause and you're like, man, that person is like a motivator, somebody I love to be around, and right. It's like, that's why I draw, he draws my attention when I watch his lives, when I watch his stuff. It's like, he's out there grinding,
Yeah, thank you.
And I feel like that relates to me. So same thing with Shirley. So I trained with Shirley, I don't know, 6 months or something. Man, this girl's tough cookie.
What happened?
Tough cookie, let me tell you. So if you guys are looking for someone who's disciplined, gets the job done, you got to reach out to Shirley. But Shirley, tell me a little bit. What is your daily, schedule like? Like what time do you get up?
My daily routine?
What time do you get up?
Oh my God. For all my stalkers,
yeah.
Turn it off. No, just kidding. So I wake up at the crack of dawn, way before anybody's up, especially in my house. I'm up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I get up, go do my cardio, come back home, eat, or I take my food on the go. My first clients are at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the gym from 5 o'clock in the morning till 7. and then Ricky Tat takes over.
Yeah,
But
take care of the kids.
yeah,
take them to school from like.
And that's your routine. So you are at the gym from 5 to 7 in the morning, while you, Ricky, are now getting the kids up and taking them to school.
For the most part, sometimes she wakes me up like today. But yeah, I get them ready. They get ready themselves, but I make them a little breakfast, and I take them to school. By that time, Shirley gets home, and then we eat breakfast together for a little bit and just kind of chit chat something quick. I usually go to my appointments around 9. She goes.
I go on with my day. I go work out myself. I work out from an hour to 2 hours with my own personal trainer. And then from there, I start all over again. 12 o'clock to 2, I have my clients. Then I become a mom again. Go pick up my kids, hurry up, make some dinner before my next following clients that fall from 5 p.m. till 7. And I try to have everything in a schedule, because when I fall out of schedule, everything falls apart.
Yeah.
And it becomes harder because either I have to go buy food for the kids. I'm crazy.
Yeah. And I know that you tattoo usually till late evening as well, right?
So it was before like that. I used to start like at 11, and then by the time I start actually tattooing 1, and then I do full day sessions. That's typically 8 hours. So I was done by like 10. So, but since our kids are like, my son is starting baseball soon, I have to rearrange my schedule and start earlier because I'm putting my family first, And so now I'm going to start like at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll got to have the design ready. There is no chit-chatting. There's just like, well, somewhat, right? But I need to be done by 5 or 6 in my head so that I can have time to go take my son to practice. So it's a crazy schedule. One of my clients I just had asked me, like, because I was talking to him about my wife's schedule, and he's like, that's a lot, And I'm like, no, we make it work. And it just, when you're not used to a certain schedule like this, it seems overwhelming. But once you're in it for a while, it actually works out, and the day goes by quick.
Yeah.
I mean, before it was a little hard. I'm going to be honest. Ricky didn't help me. So I would schedule my appointments, my morning appointments. I had to rush back home, get the kids ready, and take them to school. And I had to sit down and talk to him. It's hard. You know, when Ricky first started his business, I was a stay-at-home mom. So I did everything. So he wasn't used to helping until I sat down. I was like, you need to help me.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's 2 of us now. This is what we wanted.
Yeah.
You told me one day, it's going to be your turn, and it's our turn.
Yeah.
It's a team. So as wife and husband, we have our ups and downs, and that's a perfect example that it's not easy.
Yeah.
It took us a little time to adjust to each other's schedule, and he came in and he helps me, and it makes the whole day, every day go easier.
Change, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But that's exactly why I asked, is because when I was at your tattoo shop and then I see you come in after your training in Shirley, it's crazy that, you guys are running 2 entirely different types of businesses, and then yet I see, your son and your daughter in the shop, and, it's like you're picking one up, but then you're keeping the other, and I'm just like, this is a little crazy, you know what I mean? But it worked, and nobody felt like I didn't see any tension or anything. It was just like, this is the routine, even for the kids, right? And so I thought that was kind of cool because, sometimes you typically have a couple that one's the entrepreneur and the other one's like a 9 to 5. And then they have struggles because they don't understand how the entrepreneur mindset works. And then the 9 to 5 wants one thing and verse, things like that. But when I saw you guys and I'm like, this couple is dynamic. Like, this couple's crazy. Like, they're able to pull off something that not a lot of us can do, because 2 different businesses, 2 different schedules. But like you said, Shirley, you just asked him, hey, I need more time or I need help. And then, Ricky, you stepped up to the role.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like you said, we're being transparent here, right? Vamos a soltar la sopa, como dijiste. A lot of times we get super focused on getting some goals. And, yes, I was the breadwinner for a while, and I had asked her to take care of the kids from birth to like 6 or 7 because I knew that the kids need their mom a lot more, the nurturing, all that. Once they're older, I can take over and maybe help out more, right? So I said, stay at home, just be a mom for them. let me handle this. Let me get to a point financially where we can give you an opportunity to start your own business. And she tried various businesses prior to this.
Not only my own business, but he told me, you can pick something that you love to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw a picture of your real estate journey, right?
Yes,
you did just post that? I was like, I did not know she tried to be a real estate agent.
Well, I was a real estate agent when I was in my single days. I was a real estate agent. That's how Ricky met me. Mm-hmm. I loved it. But it's a very hard job.
Yeah.
It's stressing. But I tried doing it again after I had my kids, when Ricky said, you know what, it's time for you to go out there, go do something for yourself. Mm-hmm. I tried to, and I said, you know what, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't know, maybe when I was single, it's something I did because I liked it at the moment, but I realized, you know, this is not for me. Yeah. But I was a real estate agent, and I think the fact that I liked it is that I was always out meeting new people.
Right, networking.
And yes, that's what I enjoyed. Yeah. And the dressing up part.
And I got to give her credit because, you know, imagine you're out there, right? You're used to a certain lifestyle. Here comes, you know, somebody that she has a family with, and I restrict her from all that. Mm-hmm. But I restricted her with a plan in mind. I didn't be selfish and say, hey, you're going to be a stay-at-home mom. You know, that's what I want. I'm going to work. None of that machismo stuff. Like, I'm realizing.
You need to say that to the audience in the camera. None of that machismo.
No, well, crap. You know, I mean, I still believe the man is the household, right? But she's right next to me, you know? And what I told her, and she can vouch for this, I told her, I'm like, there's a plan in you know.
In the future.
Just holding off,
yeah,
right?
There's a plan, yeah. And I said, let me do this right now because I got it running. Let me get to a point. And then I'm going to help you grow in your brand. Yeah. You know?
But that's also your support, right, Shirley? I mean, you were patiently supporting him and his journey in being an entrepreneur, getting the business to where it needs to be, and now saying, like, okay, now let me flourish as well, right? Because I look at both of you, and I look at both of you as very strong-minded individuals, like two alphas living together, right? And I don't imagine that being easy, but it looks like those roles are for the entrepreneurs. I mean, it does take, like, I'll be the first one to admit, like, I have to be an alpha female, an alpha person in order to be able to run a business, right? And to come home and then be like, okay, now I'm a wife. Like, how do you do that? Do you
change your roles?
How do you turn that off, you know? Instead of, like, kind of controlling everything, you know? But it's doable, but it's something that you kind of have to learn, and then your partner has to be patient in teaching you and being patient with each other.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And me and Ricky, we're two different alphas here. I'm the more just do it right away. He's the no, calm down. Let's think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we got to do it right now. See, if you don't do it right now, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then after he pushes me down and says, you know, okay, you know what, you're right. Let me calm down.
Think
you know,
about this a little bit.
But I think good point you brought that up. I never thought about it like this, but yeah, we are two alphas, and we are confident. We have to be confident in our decisions that we make, just like she is, you know. And I learn a lot from her. Her discipline, her consistency. The only one person I can match that can say that is my brother. My brother's very disciplined as far as that, right? So I admire that from, because I'm a very good decision maker, and I can sense things. But one thing is I do hesitate on taking action right away because I want to make the right action.
But see, I think that's where you complement each other, right? You're a happy medium because she's going to rush you. Yeah. You're going to slow her down a little bit. But at the same time, you're not going to overthink things because you know that one of our faults is that we overthink everything. Yeah. We get in our own way.
We do.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so you have to appreciate that from Shirley, because she kind of pushes you to say, make a decision now.
And sometimes I need that kick in the butt. Yeah. Yes, you're right. So
see?
We can't be the same in every situation. Other things are different. And sometimes I appreciate that she comes to me and gives me that position. Hey, we need to do this. What do you think? Boom. She leaves it onto me. That makes me feel like she values me. Yeah. Another times when we have to make a decision, like we just recently talked about our future plans for her gym, you know? And I don't just say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Yeah. I say, hey, what do you think? I got this idea. And I talk to her. Yeah. And I make her feel empowered that, you know, she she's half owner of it, you know. I want her to make the decision. Is this something you want? Yeah. So it's communicating, right? But not always just me making her feel like I overpower her, you know?
I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to say things that you're not going to agree, or I'm not going to do things that you don't agree.
Yeah.
I guess we give each other that same respect.
Is that respect?
And that's big. Respect is big.
And it's taking us time. In the beginning, it was hard. Mm-hmm. Like when I opened up my gym, it was hard for him to get adjusted to my schedules.
I would get mad. I would get mad because I'm not used to her being away, right?
Without the kids.
Even though we planned this, but when you start a business, you don't see the ins and outs of everything. And then all of a sudden I realized, why are you staying? I said till 5 o'clock you can train. Mm-hmm. Why are you staying till 7? Now sometimes 8, mm-hmm. and it would bug me. But then I would have to check myself, and I'm like, wait a minute, she's growing her business. You know, I can't restrict her, and she would tell me, I need to do this. So I had to self-talk myself and be like, all right, this is part of it. We didn't plan for these little things. I didn't plan for her to leave at 4:45 in the morning. Yeah, you know, and looking over to the bed and she's gone. You know, it's kind of like a shock, but then at the same time, now I got used to it because we understand that in business, there's things that we didn't plan for.
Yeah. It's hard. And it's good to understand that too, in my opinion, is like in the beginning, Ricky, you got to hustle. You said you were working till 10, 11 o'clock at night. And now you're like, nope, I'm starting at 9 and ending at 5 or whatever, right? But as entrepreneurs, we get to, right, decide what our schedule is. And I know, Shirley, for you, the fact that you have to stay late is because people work and they get off work and now that's when they want to start their training. Mm-hmm. So I've seen how, you offer your evening classes and stuff like that. And it's because that's when your clients can train, right? And so you have to adapt to that, however best it works. And that's what I admire about you guys, is that you're making it work and you're making it seem flawless. Wow. Even though I know it's not.
I wish it was like that, guys.
I mean, it does help that, we have our two businesses in the same plaza.
Yeah.
And by no means that was an accident. That was pre-planned. That was, you know what I mean? Like it was a perfect setup because that was where her trainer was before, her coach that still is. And he left. We had an opportunity and we talked about it. Are you ready for this? You know? Had I not believed in her, we wouldn't have invested, we would. But I told her from the get, whatever business you really, I'm going to go all in with you because I believe in you. You believed in me. Like she was there while I was in the garage. She was pregnant with my son and she would see me tattoo half naked girls. You know what I mean? She never questioned. God. No, I'm saying, like, let's be real. Like,
right here.
Like, eso está la sopa, right? She would never come in and second guess.
Yeah.
I never questioned him. Never like, oh my God, why are you tattooing her on that part? Or why are you taking so long?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I told him when I started my business. It's hard for me to start something, and you taught me, I saw you when you first opened your business. You used to stay hours and hours, How come I can't do that? Because he said it, like, I used to go home at 5, the kids need you. I'm like, no, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
And that was my own, like, excuse for her to, like, not be there. And then when she got male clients, then that became, like, it turned on me now, Am I going to say, hey, only stick to women?
Yeah.
Like, that would have been, what is it?
Just
hypocritical. Yeah, the hypocrisy of it. So I had to, in turn, give her the trust that she gave me. And, and she's not even touching these clients. I was touching the clients, right? Yes. And so I have to check myself, And to this day, like, it's still a work in progress, you know what I'm saying? But it's something that by having two businesses like this, these things come into mind,
So now tell me a little bit about what are the kids learning? What are they picking up from seeing mom and dad being these hustlers, being these grinders? Like, do you see them like we saw our parents when we were little, or do you think that they have a different vision now?
They have a different vision.
Definitely, yeah.
I honestly, the way my kids honestly impress me all the time. When I started my business, in the beginning, I lacked a lot of attention with them, especially with school. And I still have a good communication with their teachers. And I'm really hard on my daughter. And they're very bright students. They're straight A students. They're honor roll students. They're superintendent students. And I tell them, like, wow, I'm sorry I can't give you this time, but I'm amazed how smart you guys are. And thank you, because I don't have to push you. I don't have to be sitting there pushing you guys. And I think it's from them seeing me and Ricky pushing ourselves every day, doing what we love to do and doing. And that's why we seen Ricky and Ariel try to do the little hustles on the side, where Ariel wants to one day she got caught at school tattooing her all her classmates
with markers. Let's be clear.
I love that.
And now she does these little clothes for dolls, and she wants to sell them. But that all comes back to us, that they see us every day hustling, putting ourselves out there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, for me, like, I always try to keep them involved. They're not like they're not just kids at the shop. I always try to involve them and feel them empowered that one day they might own these businesses. They will own these businesses. Right. So they should know what's in and outs. Like, I'll tell them how much money I made in a day. I don't keep that a secret. From what I understand, some parents keep the money thing away from kids. Me personally, I think you should involve them and let them know that some days you made really good money. Other days it was tough. Right now it was a little slow. I tell them, hey, it's a little slow. It's because of this. Hey, I have to let go of somebody. What do you guys think? Like, I'm always, whatever aspect of the business is happening. Obviously, I don't tell them all the details because they're only like 9 and 10. But I keep it simple with them. And then I say, what do you guys think? And then I want to hear their simple responses back. And sometimes those responses is what I should do, because we're overthinking as an adult.
I agree
judgment
with you.
And all that.
Sometimes their little opinions, as innocent they may be, are so powerful and so meaningful.
And it's so crazy how they see everything. You think they're not paying attention, but they pay attention to every single thing. And they'll sit there and give you a whole conversation. Like, if you're talking to an adult and you're just
how
like...
How old are your kids now?
9 and 10.
9 and 10.
And I'm just sitting there like, what you said, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad. I mean, like, I saw your daughter. She's like a little mini you, wandering in the shop and tattooing or, drawing. And she's very good. She's very talented. So I can see her being, an artist in that sense, as soon as she can. Because what is it? Maybe you have to be 18 to be able to tattoo, or?
I don't really know, but to be honest, like, if she's 15, 16 and she can drop some good tattoos, I'm gonna let her tattoo. What's the help? Not just kidding. No, but I honestly, there is rules, and but one thing, she don't have to tattoo actually people yet, but there's fake skins that I have her tattooing actually.
I think that's what I saw her doing.
Yeah,
tattooing.
She was doing that yesterday, and if I tell her, hey, you're just gonna stay here all day with me, she has no problem with it.
I don't think she wanted to leave the day she was there. With you, Shirley. She wanted to stay in the shop.
She wants to stay.
That's always.
All in. And
Papa said I can stay. I don't believe you.
Yeah, and I got to nurture that as much as I can, because, man, I would have loved to have that when I was starting,
And I think, we started our business a little too late, because I would have loved to have my kids in here helping me, because right now you tell them to help me and they're like, your office is boring. Yeah. They do not want to come in here. But anyways, so, I mean, talking to our audience out there, other entrepreneurs, I mean, what kind of advice would you give them as far as, like, your mindset? Like, you guys are a couple, you're both, off to your own, businesses. How do you keep that hustle, that mindset, a positive attitude? I'm sure, Shirley, you sometimes have bad days, and then Ricky has to, like, maybe uplift you, or vice versa. How do you guys balance that?
Question.
I think it's a lot of talking.
Yeah, communication.
As much as we hate to do that, because it makes you feel uncomfortable talking, which is with most couples, you got to talk. Like, even though sometimes I'll tell Ricky, I know you don't want to hear it, but you got to hear me out. Think about it, or, we got to fix this. But we talk it out, we make it work. And yes, you said it. Not every day is a happy day. Even though we make it seem like it's a happy day, but we have to, because we're business owners, and it's not like we can take our stress off on our clients.
Yeah.
But
you can't bring that to the office, right? You got to kind of keep that at home if that's what's happening. But, I feel like, Ricky, every time I talk to you, you're so positive-minded. You're looking big picture, things like that. And it's like, do you share that with Shirley, and, do you share those goals with her so she can support you, and vice versa? Or are those things that you keep in your head and you don't want to share with anybody?
No. I believe in my whole thesis is basically recent, because I'm 42 already, right? So I've had many experiences, and right now my whole mindset, even with our podcast, is express what you want to do, project your ideas on people, because not enforce them, just project them in an influential way, maybe like by doing, So I'm always constantly talking to my wife, about everything. I tell her, hey, listen to Gary Vee. Gary Vee is one of my mentors, right? Shout out to Gary Vee. If you guys are entrepreneurs, you guys know what's up. And now she listens to him every day.
Yeah.
And I didn't say, hey, you must listen to this or else we're not going to have a successful business. Mm-hmm. I just listen to it and I send her some things that I think relate to her business. Mm-hmm. And now, if she respects me, she'll listen to it. And so the positive mindset for me comes from just the passion that I have to want to help people. I really do. It's really the businesses we're in, we're helping people. Yeah. My tattoos help clients cope with stuff, or just feel better about themselves. Mm. And her training helps people, right? So it's not hard to be positive because it's something that I love. I really can put in 15-hour days in it, and I feel blessed leaving. I don't feel like it was a drag, where before I used to work for a school district, and we don't want to get into that, but that was just a robotic, clock in, clock out type of work. Mm-hmm. And there was no purpose for me, It was fine for other people, but not for me, and that's why I had to leave. But I think for young entrepreneurs, if they're all watching and they're having struggles, yes, it's hard. It's hard. It's not going to be easy. Don't expect it to be super easy. All this cliche stuff you guys hear, it's hard and all that. It's true. It's going to be hard. I got a friend of mine I just talked to yesterday. He's starting his food mariscos company. Mm-hmm. And he had a conversation with me. Is this hard like this? Bro, it's going to be even harder. Yeah. And you got to ask yourself at the end of the day, do you really want to do this long term or not? That's the questions you ask. And if you accept that you're going to do it for the long term and you're going to grow, then learn to be in the tough times right now and appreciate the process.
And it goes along with, and I think that a good point that you bring up with being an entrepreneur is hard. It is hard, right? But it's also very rewarding. This is why we always talk about working smarter and not necessarily always harder. Working on your business, not just in your business. And I think you're at that stage, right? Because you have these goals for the business to succeed, but how are you going to be able to step yourself out of the business and let the business continue to run? You've done an amazing job. Guys, if you guys ever, walk into Iconic's tattoo studio, it literally is a studio. There's, I don't know how many artists you have in there now.
We have 7 and 2 apprentices.
And it's like a madhouse in there. Everyone's working, grinding. You got people, tattooing in different chairs. And I walked in there, I'm like, dude, this is a full-blown business, right? And I admire that. I feel like you can leave your business if you needed to, and it's still running. It's a machine. It's still pumping, right? And I know you have a partner, but at the same time, it's like, it's hard work that you've put into this business, and it's paying off. Yeah. I see it. It's grown. It's continuing to grow. You have these goals. And same thing for you, Shirley, right? I mean, you are you sell your hours, so you are basically training these individuals. But I've seen you go on vacation. Do you leave them like a routine or something and saying, okay, I'm going to be gone, but you got to work out and do this at home? Or what do you do when you go out?
That's a good question. Well, who knows what they do when I leave? Honestly, if I know we're going to have a trip somewhere, mm-hmm. I let them know like a month ahead, and mm-hmm. I tell them, we're going to work these hours or this. And I even work an extra day so they can come in and get the work done. And I'll just give them those days off. Okay. Because I honestly think they deserve it. Yeah. For the ones that work really hard.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. You grind and you're like, okay, you can have a couple days. You can go on vacation like I'm going on vacation. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. That's awesome. Well, I'm very proud of, when I walk into that shop and see all the amazing things that you've done. And then your studio, Shirley, is just so you. I walk in there and it's like all these machines. I was like, oh my gosh, Shirley would be kicking my butt if I wasn't here right now. But before we wrap up, I want to know, is there any, I know you did a shout out right now to who you like to listen to, but is there any books or any podcasts or anything like that you can leave the audience with as a recommendation, or what gets you up in the morning kind of a thing?
Yeah, for sure. Like I mentioned, Gary Vee. I mean, that guy changed my life. Literally, I went from being a government employee for a school district with benefits, great insurance, a 401k, to actually, jumping into being an entrepreneur and what I am now, the freedom that I have, right? So that's what I recommend. That guy, he's not for everybody. And, you listen to him at first, he's going to be bold, and you might be like, what the hell is this, But you give him a little bit, and he kind of hits every like, nerve that you want to be inspired with. And one book that changed my life that I asked my wife to read too is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's an iconic book for business. I don't read too many books, but that one I read 3 times because it's the essential of communication, Yeah.
How about you, Shirley? Is there anything besides your reggaeton in the morning that pump you up,
Honestly,
I get up and I see her post in the morning 4 hours ago. Dude, it's only 8 in the morning.
Hey. I honestly don't have one. I listen to whatever, how I feel that day. Mm-hmm. I always tell my clients or anybody that seeks my advice, surround yourself with people that have more than what you have, because they have more knowledge, they have more money, and they know how to guide you. Yeah. I don't have a favorite influencer. I listen to all of them. I grab what I feel like it's good for me. And that's it. Every time I look for advice, I look for advice for those who know more than me, like my husband, my coach, other bodybuilders that have more knowledge, and I make it through the day.
Yeah, I admire your discipline, girl. You're like on it.
Thank
Very
you.
Disciplined. If I can bottle that,
I don't know how I do it.
We'd have a successful business.
An even more successful business, right? Because you have a successful business. Yes. And when you walked in and you made some comments about the podcast and all that, what did I tell you? We have to pause and look at what we have accomplished at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
And you have an amazing shop, right? You have an amazing wife. You have amazing kids. You're doing something good. So you got to give yourself a pat on the back for all of that.
Yeah, no, you're right. You hit a nail. Sometimes you hit that nail, like sometimes we don't practice that gratitude, and we have to have like-minded people to help us with that. Because sometimes I tell her, like, you have a business that you can make your own schedule, gratitude. And then sometimes she'll tell me, like, you do what you love, and so we need this like-minded stuff,
And I'll tell you one thing. It takes an amazing person to have someone like Shirley by your side, and vice versa, right? Shirley, you have to be this amazing person to be able to put up with Ricky, too. So
I think you are what you attract.
So I love that about you guys. So thank you guys for being here.
No
but
problem.
Tell the audience how they can find you if, they need a personal trainer to kick their butt. Shirley, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. My personal page is Misfit Shirley, or at Iconic Training Facility.
And you do competitions, right? Are you going to be going back to competitions?
So competitions, that's a little. Let's leave it at when my coach says that it's the right time.
She will be back.
Do you hear
I'll
that
be
though?
back.
Do you hear that though? She's following her mentor and
Yes.
listening to her body. So that's something that sometimes we fail to do. And when the time is right, you'll step back in. So good to know. How about you, Ricky? How do somebody that maybe is looking for a tattoo or maybe even your podcast, how do they find you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Instagram at Ricky Tat, and that's my personal page. And then we have the shop one, which is Iconic Tattoo Studio.
Hey, Iconic Training.
And then we have our YouTube channel, which is called Iconic TV, ICONIQ TV, and that's where we have a lot of blogs, and we have podcasts all about tattoo related stuff, business, mindset. So you just search those and they'll pop up.
Awesome. Highly recommend these two. I've worked with both of them, and a very admirable couple. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you all. Thank you to my audience for being here. We will catch you guys on the next one. Please remember to follow us on Instagram at prominence.services, and our website is prominencebusiness.com. Thank you all.
So if your mindset is ready to excel to the next level and you want to give up the multiple hats to a business who will support you, then schedule a call with us today. We can be reached at 626-825-8249. Please give us a review and share us with your friends and family.